Human rights stakeholders have called on parents and guardians, particularly mothers, to create strong emotional connections and a safe and non-judgmental environment to nurture their girls. The stakeholders made the call during an event tagged "My Daughter, My Friend", which was organized by Yinka Kenny Girls Care Foundation. The convener, Mrs. Yinka Kenny, said the program was aimed at enlightening mothers on how to properly bond and relate with their daughters in spite of pressures from their various endeavors.
Over the years, I started interacting a lot with so many teenage girls, and I realized that at the end of the day, most of them they have issues because of the fact that they do not have a very good relationship with their mothers. I thought to myself, as a teenager also, I went through some things and my mother never knew. At some point, I became suicidal, and it was the grace of God that took me out of it. I said to myself, there's a need to enlighten parents, mothers most especially, in the midst of all our stress, all our challenges, all the work pressure, the home pressure and everything, not to neglect the fact that we need to create a bond with our teenage girls. As they grow up and become teenagers, there's a tendency for them to want to withdraw into their shells and want to confide more with their peer groups other than their mothers. So by so doing, most of the times you realize that they get negative vibes. They get lured into negative things. Take home, number one, is the fact that I have to be involved in every of my daughter's life. Number two, I have to make my daughter my friend.
Wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by Mrs. Bukola Akoshile, urged mothers to build stronger bonds with their daughters and be good role models to them.
The bond that exists between a mother and her daughter or daughters is such that is very special and unique. The bond is beyond a daughter-mother relationship. It should be instead be a friend-to-friend relationship. It is almost natural that the girl child feels a natural attachment to the mother for several reasons. One of which is gender similarity. Although this might not be in all cases, it is, however, important for mothers to leverage this closeness to bond with their children and direct their perspective about life to the right path.
It's important that we make time for these girls. We are relatable and create a safe space for our parents to help them to be able to trust us, and we must be available to them. So after what I've said today, I expect that they implement. Now, change is not always easy. So if I'm telling the parent that it's always hitting their child to stop hitting their child, it's already a reflex action. It's already a built-in thing for them to hit their children. But I'm telling you today that it's better to have strong emotional connections so that that beating will not cause a barrier between you and your child. That beating will not stop that child from opening up and speaking up to you. So it might be challenging, but I expect that parents will be flexible enough to implement this change, because it is said that the most flexible of the system controls the system. So if you want to be in charge as a parent, if you want to be in charge without forcing yourself with a rod, then ensure that you are able to implement, you are able to be, just take this thing away. My take home is bonding with your child as a mother. You bond with them, you let them, you understand them, what they are going through, you have very good relationship with them. It's not a thing, it's not good for a mother to be too harsh on her girl child. There's some things which we have inside of her. She will not be able to say it because we are not free with her. So my take home today is, as a mother, you bond with your child and let them have that self-esteem, confidence that they are women that can stand on their own and become something good in our society.
While trying to raise my children, I have just a daughter. I concentrated my energy on trying to put food on the table, because I was a single parent. It was for me trying to, keep them the very best, send them to the best schools and all of that. And so I neglected the most important part. The most important part was being friends with my children. I didn't, especially my daughter, and so I left them at the mercy of my relatives, at the mercy of nannies, of house girls. What do you expect from a house girl whose ideology and mentality cannot, be equated to what you want your children to be? And then sometimes you are shocked that even the relatives that you have supposedly put your trust in to take care of your children will begin to tell your children hateful things. They inculcate a lot of hate into these children. They inculcate a lot of pain and bitterness into the girl child. And unfortunately, even the boy child. And then you find the children revolting. You find the children, my daughter used to be on the edge. Things are a lot better now because she's about 21, so she understands. But she used to be on the edge. If I say something like, Tobera, I think you should know. Oh, come and follow me here. I don't want to go. Come and do this. No, come and do this. She's always very aggressive, and it took time for me to realize that a lot of things had been pumped into her.
The Chief of Staff to the Lagos State Government, Mr. Tayo Ayinde, represented by Mr. Akinduro Ibesami, urged parents to ensure they listen to their children and help them develop themselves.
Take away from what has been said here today is just that we should, every parent, irrespective of the gender, whether you are a man or a woman, you should get closer to your children, you get closer to them, listen to them, you understand, allow them to develop themselves. And I think we have a lot of takeaways from it, it's not different at all. The one that actually touches my mind most is that, we grew up from rural areas, someone that grew from rural areas and all that. I think I got to know today that schooling a child is not the best. You understand? And we need to talk to them. It's not more than scolding. I think that is very, very important. And every parent will need to understand that it's not only when you scold a child that you can talk to a child.
So what children want from their parents is to be more understood, to be more loved in ways that they've never really experienced before. They want their parents to be more patient, they want their parents to come to their level. So this is not something that is difficult, this is not something that should come with a feeling of pressure, because parents have also been children once. So you can come back with that remembrance of what it was like to be as a child and come to your child's level.